Hello, Evan Pinion here, and I have another knife review for you. Today's knife review is going to be on the Gerber Decree. But first, I want to make mention that I have reviewed this knife earlier. This is the Zero Tolerance 0200 ST, and I forgot to make mention in the video that this comes with a tungsten DLC coating, which is diamond-like carbon coating, and this is a really good coating, one of my favorites. So I failed to make mention of that. Wanted to give a fairly in-depth review from from what I know of this, and I failed to mention that coating, so sorry. Okay, into this review. This is the Gerber Decree, and now Gerber came out with 3 Made in America knives, and this is one of them. This is more of their, I guess their higher end of the 3, because of the blade steel. They came out with like the Decree, the Order, and the Edict. And the other 2 knives have either 154 cm blade steel or 420 high carbon stainless steel. And so I opted for this one. I thought this one was the better looking of the 3, and also it has the better blade steel. And I got this for around $37, I believe. Under 40 bucks. They had it on sale where I got it at. And that's amazing for the blade steel that I get. You get S30V with this knife, and S30V is a very high quality steel if you know anything about knife steels. So going into it, you have I guess a sort of a FRN handle, or fiberglass reinforced nylon handle, and over it you have this rubberized coating, diamond texture rubberized coating on some of it that feels really good. It's very grippy, and there are full stainless steel liners in here. You have a 2-way position pocket clip for either tip down or tip up on the right side only. And you have right here a hardened steel glass breaker and a lanyard hole. I've broken a glass bottle with this pretty easily, just to give it a little test. And this is basically one of my rescue knives, what I consider a rescue knife. That this is all it's really meant for, is that worst case scenario when you might have to rescue someone from a crashed vehicle, or even rescue yourself from a crashed vehicle. So that's pretty much what it's all used for, and so it's pretty much going to maintain a perfect edge on it until I really need it. God forbid I ever use it. But opening it up, you can either use the flipper or the dual thumb studs. And if you use a flipper, you pretty much have to flick your wrist a little. And getting it out, you have, I believe it's 3.7 inch modified, what they call sort of a Tanto drop point hybrid. To me it seems more like a traditional Tanto, Japanese Tanto. And it says it's made in the USA, Portland, Oregon, S30V. But it sort of feels flat ground a little. Maybe it's a very shallow hollow grind. But it's a fairly thick blade, actually, all the way to here. It maintains a good thickness. So it offers a very strong tip. And it came very sharp, and it's partially serrated. And it's still quite sharp. I haven't actually had to sharpen this at all. Again, I haven't used it for anything other than just being there as a just-in-case knife, to rescue. But yeah, it's pretty nice. And comfortability, this knife is very comfortable. Unfortunately, this jimping up here is more cosmetic than anything, but your hand does lock in here, and it's very comfortable. In either hand, it's very comfortable. And it locks up with a liner lock, and this is a pretty unique liner lock, I find, because what actually happens is this locks up all the way over, and you think, well, that seems kind of odd. Only cheap knives really do that, you know, from Chinese cheap knives. The liner lock goes all the way over and stuff, but this is actually meant to do that because on the opposing liner there's actually a spring-loaded sort of indentation that pops out, and then it meets up with the other liner, with the liner lock, and keeps it from moving over. It keeps it from actually moving past the blade, so it actually stays locked underneath the blade the whole time. And so that's what it's meant to do, I guess, from what I can tell, because it doesn't look like it holds the knife blade in, because the ball detent on the liner lock seems to do that. So I find that kind of interesting. I will say I wish this had a thicker liner, but otherwise, I mean, it holds in fairly well. There's no side-to-side play. There is a minor touch of up and down blade play, which would be something to worry about. Maybe yours won't have it, but mine does. But then again, this, like I said, is my rescue knife. I'm not intending to use this to, stab through anything tough. I'm pretty sure it can withstand it, because it hasn't. I've done some spine wax with it actually to see if the liner lock would disengage, and it hasn't disengaged at all. So I don't know. It seems to hold up pretty well. And the coating, I believe, is what they call it a ceramic coating on the blade. So I have to say, it's a really nice knife, and they have, looks like bronze or brass washers in it. And yeah, I have to say I'm fairly impressed that Gerber has come out with a pretty good knife. For me, they're a company that does a lot more misses than hits on their knives. So it's good to see them come out with a American-made one that's not too expensive, that is actually pretty well put together. I have to admit, I'm very impressed with this knife, and I really like it a lot. And as far as my rescue knives go, this is pretty much my favorite. And I carry this one around quite a bit. So I think I'm gonna switch out my Benchmade Triage again and start carrying this as my rescue knife, because I really do like this knife a lot. And I do recommend it, honestly. I do. So thank you for watching, and God bless.